Continue listening, as the story of Persia is not only about beginnings but also about the fulfillment of prophecies spoken before the events took place. To better understand the great role that the Persian Empire would play in God's plan, we must go back to the prophecies spoken by prophets like Isaiah, as well as the events that occurred during the reign of King Cyrus. In the 8th century BCE, when the Israelite nation was invaded and Jerusalem was destroyed, God's prophecy through Isaiah was fulfilled. God said that an empire, under the leadership of a yet-to-be-born Persian king, would punish Babylon for the crimes it had committed against the people of Israel. This was the prophecy about the rise of the Persian Empire and about King Cyrus, who would become God's instrument to carry out these miraculous works. God spoke through Isaiah, saying, "This is the word of the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I take hold of to subdue nations before him and strip kings of their armor." This prophecy was not only about a worldly leader, but also about a special divine intervention in the choosing of leaders of nations. Although Cyrus was not a follower of God, he was chosen by God to be his tool for a special mission, not only to destroy Babylon, but also to free the people of Israel from captivity and restore the temple in Jerusalem. When Cyrus ascended to the throne and began his conquests, he executed brilliant military strategies. He united the tribes, built a strong and stable empire, and extended his influence from West and Central Asia to the lands of Mesopotamia. In 539 BCE, King Cyrus defeated the Babylonian army, capturing the city of Babylon without a direct confrontation. That night, Cyrus's army silently entered the city by diverting the Euphrates River and marching under the city's walls. Cyrus's victory over Babylon was not just a great military achievement, but also the precise fulfillment of the prophecy that God had spoken through Isaiah. Cyrus's army did not merely achieve victory, they helped fulfill a divine mission. After defeating Babylon, Cyrus not only allowed the people of Israel to return to their homeland but also provided funding and resources to rebuild the temple in Jerusalem. This was a pivotal moment in Israel's history, as after over 70 years of exile, the people of Israel were finally granted their freedom and power. However, what is even more significant is that through this act of Cyrus, we see God's grand plan unfolding. God chose Persia, an empire that did not follow him, to accomplish his work. God had said that although Cyrus was a pagan king, he was chosen by him to be a tool of salvation for the people of Israel. A non-believer became God's instrument, and through Cyrus, God restored the temple in Jerusalem and allowed the people of Israel to return to their ancestral land. The Bible states that Cyrus issued a great decree allowing all Israelites who wished to return to Jerusalem to rebuild the temple. This decree was not just a military miracle but a miraculous event from a divine perspective, proving God's intervention in restoring the people of Israel. In 538 BCE, Zerubbabel, a descendant of King David, along with Joshua the high priest, led the people of Israel back to Jerusalem to begin rebuilding the temple. God's plan did not stop at freeing the people of Israel from exile. It also included restoring the glory of Jerusalem. Under Cyrus's leadership, the prophecies of Daniel were also fulfilled accurately. In his dreams, Daniel had seen the future of the empires and the events that would unfold. One of the important things Daniel saw was the rise of the Persian Empire, with a special role in the restoration of Israel. Daniel prophesied that the Babylonian Empire would be replaced by another empire, and that empire would be Persia. In a dream of King Nebuchadnezzar, Daniel interpreted that the massive statue seen by the king in his dream represented the coming empires. The statue had a head of gold representing Babylon, chest and arms of silver representing Persia, and the Medes, belly and thighs of bronze representing Greece, and legs of iron representing the Roman Empire. And this prophecy came true. The Babylonian Empire fell, and Persia rose as a mighty empire. But what is noteworthy here is that despite Persia's power, glory, and might, they were still God's instrument. This empire, although a pagan nation, was used by God to accomplish his work. Therefore, not every great empire is an opponent of God. At a specific point in history, Persia became a tool of salvation, and this has been recorded in the Bible as an important lesson for all those seeking redemption.